Hello, hello, brilliant friends. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I am so excited that you are here. And today I want to talk about articulating the value of what it is that you offer. And we hear this a lot, especially in the online business space. Articulate the value of your offer, articulate the value of what you offer. And it can kind of feel like this abstract idea. It can feel kind of like pie in the sky, not really concrete. So today I want to offer a couple ways that you can better articulate the value of what you offer, and the answer might actually surprise you. So I'm excited to dive right in. Let's start with value. What is value? We hear that word thrown around a lot. Provide value, give value. Is what you're offering valuable? I don't have any concrete definition of what value is across the board because it varies based on who you serve, what you offer, what your clients are looking for, the transformation that they want, right? And the reason for this is that value is determined by the person experiencing it, not by the person providing it. So I'm going to say that again. Value is determined by the person experiencing it, not by the person providing it. Value is defined by our clients. It's defined by the people who work with us to get the transformation. In order to articulate the value of what you do and your offers, you need to first understand what is valuable to the person who determines the value, which are your ideal clients, and then reflect that value to them in your messaging. Value is actually the impact that your work has on the person who experiences it. It's not actually the steps or the process or the learning that they do in their work with us, because yes, those things are valuable, but what gives them value is the impact that they have. So the end result, the end impact is actually what makes your process and your offers valuable. And because the value comes in the impact or the transformation, this is probably why we struggle to articulate the value of the things that we do. We focus too much on the features, the bells and whistles of an offer. We focus too much on the process and the framework that we walk people through. And I want to be clear, those things are very important. It's important to talk about your process and your framework because they have very real implications for your positioning as an expert. However, that's not actually what determines the value of your offer. What determines the value of your offer is the impact that it has and the transformation that someone gets as a result of working with you. Because it's our audience that determines the value of our offers, how do we determine that beforehand so that we can then articulate and reflect that back to our audience? First and foremost, we have to stop focusing on the offer itself. We need to understand that our offers are a means to an end for our audience. I'm going to say that again. Our offers are a means to an end for our audience. What do I mean by that? Your offer is the path to the transformation. Your offer is the road that someone has to take in order to achieve the transformation. If someone didn't have to go through our offers to get the transformation that we provide, they wouldn't go through our offers. They would just get the transformation, right? So our offers are the path that leads someone to that transformation. And I want to be clear, this doesn't mean that your offer shouldn't be clear, shouldn't be engaging, shouldn't be well created and crafted and enjoyable for people to go through or sophisticated. Those are all very important elements. The better your offer is, the more honed in it is, the more streamlined it is, the more there's a process and a framework to it, the better the experience, and the more likely it is that someone's going to get a transformation out of working with you. With that thought process in mind, with that shift in mind, the offer itself isn't the value. It's not the bells and the whistles, it's not the features, it's not all the things that we include and all the millions of things that we think we need to include to make it more valuable. It's what the offer makes possible. It's what the offer allows and facilitates in the lives of our clients. So let me say that. Let me say that again, because that is actually incredibly powerful. The offer itself, so the bells and whistles, the features of the offer are not where the value lies. The value lies in what your offer makes possible, in what it allows your clients to achieve, in what it helps them to facilitate. It just so happens that your offer and the specific way that it's offered, that's the structure in which they're going to get that transformation. It shouldn't matter what the most popular offer structure is in the moment or what's most trendy. A few years ago, memberships were all the rage. Then it was high ticket offers. Now we're talking about one-on-ones again. We should be creating our offers and creating the structure of our offers with the thought process of what what is the best way for my clients to get the transformation that they're looking for? And also, what's the best way for me to deliver it? Any offer structure works. It's really about the impact, the transformation that it allows and facilitates for your ideal clients. People get sold on the transformation before they get sold on the offer. And so, for that reason, in order for people to understand the value of your offer, you first need to help them decide to prioritize the transformation. I'm going to say that again. In order to help people understand the value of your offer, you need to first help them decide to prioritize the transformation. That is your number one job in your messaging, is to help them decide to prioritize the transformation. Because once they decide to prioritize the transformation, it becomes very easy to then talk to them about the how to get to that transformation, i.e., your offer. Before I dive into how do we help them to decide to prioritize the transformation, I want to point out two quick things. There's a reason why I say our job is to help our audience decide to prioritize the transformation instead of prioritize the transformation. It is not our job to tell people what they should be doing, what they should be prioritizing. That's on our audience and each individual person to make that decision of what they're going to prioritize, what they're not going to prioritize. And as experts, we know the value of prioritizing that transformation, right? We know what that would look like for them and what would be possible and all of the things that would come as a result of them prioritizing that transformation. But they need to make that decision on their own. And they may decide not to prioritize that transformation right now. That just means two things: that if someone is not prioritizing the transformation that you're providing and prioritizing getting that solution, it means that they are either saying, no, this is not for me. That's going to be a small segment of your audience, are going to be people who say that. And then on the flip side, it's going to be a no, not right now. And that is going to be a large portion of your audience that doesn't buy right away and hangs around and sticks around and wants to listen and learn a little bit more and understand a little bit more. They're just saying, that's a no, not right now for me. I'm not prioritizing that right now, but it doesn't mean that they won't ever prioritize it. The second thing that I want to point out is that there's a reason why I say it's our job to help them decide to prioritize the transformation instead of help them see the value of your offer. You might be like, that sounds kind of similar, but it's not the same. Helping someone to decide to prioritize the transformation is very different from helping someone to see the value of an offer. When we think about helping someone see the value of something, we immediately want to point out all the things that we think are valuable. We immediately start to think from the place of convincing someone of the value instead of just showing them the inherent value that's already there. But it's not your job to convince people of the value of your offer. If you are solving a problem that people are willing to pay to solve, which almost all of us entrepreneurs are, then the value of your offer is already inherently there in the solution. The fact that someone wants to pay to get this type of solution means that your offer is already inherently valuable. Even though the value is inherently there, people might not understand the value of the offer. And the way to get them to understand that is to help them prioritize the transformation. Because as humans, we value the things that we prioritize. So how do we do that? How do we help people to prioritize or decide to prioritize the transformation that you are providing? There are two levers that I want to talk to you about. There are so many more that we can get into, but I want to focus on these two levers in this episode. These two levers are things that your audience is using to assess and understand the value of the transformation that you're providing. So the two levers are identity and impact. I'm going to explain both of them really quickly, and then I'm going to tell you how exactly you can start to infuse this into your messaging. The first lever is identity, and identity is a huge part of why we do the things that we do as human beings. Identity is how we see ourselves, how we think about ourselves, how we view ourselves. And so how we see ourselves, how we identify as a person impacts the decisions we make and the actions that we take. Identity is twofold. Identity is who you are right now or how you see yourself in this present moment, and how we see ourselves in the future. Who are we becoming? Who do we want to become? How do we want to see ourselves? So those are the two sides of the identity coin: who we are right now and then who we are becoming. That identity piece is going to be really important to your audience in determining whether the transformation is helping them become the type of person that they want to become. Is it going to help them see themselves in the way that they want to see themselves and the person that they're evolving into? So how do we infuse this into our messaging? messaging. The question I want you to answer is, does this transformation align with who they are becoming or who they want to be? In other words, does this transformation align with the identity that they want to embody? If it doesn't, it's going to be very, very hard to convince them that your group program, your one-on-one, your membership is something valuable that they need to invest in. However, if you can show them that the transformation that they receive as a result of going through your specific offer is actually going to help them become the type of person that they want to become or see themselves in the way that they want to see themselves, that is going to go a long way in helping them to understand the value that's inherently in your offer. And I want to say that this doesn't have to be big or grandiose. When you help someone with a transformation, you are helping them with an identity shift. That is always going to be the case. When someone goes through a transformation of any kind, you are helping them shift their identity. For instance, my audience wants to be seen as the go-to in their industry. They want to be heard. They want to be someone that's recognized as an industry leader. And so I have to ask myself the question of, do my offers help facilitate that transformation? Do my clients become that person as a result of working with me? And the answers to those questions are yes. That is what happens as a result of my clients working with me. And so I want to make sure that my messaging really touches on this identity piece and shows them that, yes, this is what's going to happen. This is the transformation. This is the identity shift that's going to happen for you. So I want to ask you, are you infusing this into your messaging and how you talk about the transformation you provide? Are you talking about the identity shift that happens? Are you painting the picture of what it's like to be or become the person who no longer struggles with X, or to be or become the person that they're looking to become as a result of getting this transformation? The next lever I want to talk about is impact. When I talk about impact in the context of helping people decide to prioritize the transformation that you provide, I mean, what is the impact of the transformation on their lives? Let's talk about how we can infuse this into our messaging, because I think that will give you some really concrete ideas of how to start incorporating this and start using this as a way to help people understand the value of what you do. So a couple of the questions I want you to ask is, what does the transformation make possible? What doors does this open up for them? What opportunities does this open up once they achieve or obtain this transformation? What type of ripple effect of positive change does this bring into their lives, into their business, into their day-to-day? So I want you to think about the transformation that you provide, and then what is the impact? What is the ripple effect of that transformation? How does it extend beyond just the work that you do with your clients and extend into other areas of their life? Once we're able to connect those dots and show them those pieces, it becomes really, really easy to then start to understand the value of what it is that you're offering. They want to prioritize this new identity that they want to embody. They want to prioritize the impact that this will have and the things that it will make possible and the doors that it will open for them. And by prioritizing the transformation, which includes the identity, the impact piece, they are in turn saying, yeah, I see the value in this. I see and understand the value in this, and I want to invest in it. One other thing I really want to point out is that when you talk about impact and you start to talk about the transformation and the identity piece, you really want to be honed in on their desires. What is it that they truly, really want? What is their core desire in solving this problem and getting a solution? Because your messaging needs to reflect those desires. We're not coming up with these out of thin air. We're not making up this identity that they want to embody or the impact that this is going to have. These are things that our clients want. We are just pulling them out and focusing on them more in our messaging instead of just trying to focus on the features and benefits of our offers. We are focusing on the transformation in order to help them understand the value of the things that we're offering. Ultimately, where we need to start is with our audience and understanding what are their desires, what do they want, what is the transformation, and then helping to tease that out through the things that I talked about here, which are impact and identity. Okay, so to recap, value is determined by our audience. In order to articulate the value of what it is that we offer, we need to figure out what's important to them, what do they value, and then reflect that to them in our messaging. One of the ways we do this is by focusing on the transformation and helping them to decide to prioritize the transformation. How do we do that? By pulling on these two levers that I talked about: identity. How does the transformation support who they are becoming and who they want to become? And then impact. what does the transformation make possible for them? What doors and opportunities does this open up for them? What ripple effect does this have on their lives? I hope this conversation around focusing on the transformation by pulling two levers, identity and impact, really help you to see how you can help your audience understand the value of what it is that you're providing instead of trying to convince people of the value of what you do, because that is an uphill battle that none of us will win. We never want to be in the business of trying to convince people to buy our thing or to invest in the transformation. Thanks so much for listening to this episode, friend, and I will catch you in the next one.